And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live 5, brought to you by Doane Studios. I'm your host, Kennerly Benraty, a development officer here in the Doane University Advancement and Alumni Office. And today we have on the show Megan Failor. First, though, I'd like to let you all know, before we dive into the show, yes, we are socially distancing and wearing masks in the studio. Unfortunately, I can't wear mine, or else you don't get to hear my voice or see my wonderful smile. Ding! Did you hear it? You're welcome. But anyway, so we're going to get right into things. We have a bunch of action-packed content for you guys today. So let's turn things over to Megan. Megan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what you do at Doane?
Thanks, Kenny. So my name is Megan Faylor. I am the Director of Residential Life here on our Crete campus. Also a Doane alum, graduated from the Crete campus in 2010. So I've been at Doane working for, just started my 10th year last month. So I have worked in residence life since I came back to Doane after graduation. It's something that I just really fell in love with as a student, and excited to be able to kind of give back from the great experience I had at Doane as a student to the incoming students that are coming.
Awesome, awesome. So, first things first, being the director of residence life and things like that, are we dorms or residence halls? I think that's the biggest question we all want to know.
Sure. So we are not dorms. Dorms is kind of a four-letter word in res life speak, if you will. The reason that we don't like to refer to our residence halls as dorms is really pretty simple. So when we think about a dorm, we think of more of like a boarding school kind of barracks situation where, you have your basic essentials, you're going to sleep. You're not really making that your home. It's more of just a place where you lay your head at night, and that's end of story. A residence hall is different. It's an encompassing experience. So you're making your space your own. You're making it feel like home. You're buying the cool decorations. You're getting the cool rugs. You're doing all of that stuff to make it feel comfortable and nice for you, but you're also getting that experience of the community. Right. So it's not like you're just going to your own little space and that's the end of it. You have the opportunity to really intermingle, interact, and learn about yourself and others. It's an all-encompassing experience. So that's why dorm is kind of a no-no word for us. And we prefer to use residence halls because we really do want students to have a great experience, not just have a place to lay their head at night.
Right. Well, I mean, that sounds really encompassing of everyone, and I like that. The residence halls, not dorms, Kenny. They're residence halls, not dorms. So what are the options of living on campus? What do we have here? What do students have the option of choosing where to live?
Sure. So currently we have 5 residence halls that are available across campus. We do follow a kind of a class-based housing model. And what that means essentially is that we try to group like students in their college journey together. It just makes a little more sense if you are a first-year student and you're with other first years instead of a first year and a senior together. You're at different paths in your journey, and it just makes more sense to be around others that are going through similar things. So because of that, we do have some limitations on buildings that our new first-year students can live in for the first year, and then that goes away after that first year. But we offer a variety of different residence halls. A lot of our buildings are very historic. We have what we would call traditional style residence halls, so what you would kind of imagine with 2 people in a room, kind of shared bathrooms, that sort of thing. And then we do have some suite style options where students get the opportunity to still live with a group of people, but they have more of that independent living because they do have a living space and a bathroom space that's their own. And so it kind of gives you that next step up into that transition for after life, after college.
Right. The quads, ladies and gentlemen, the quads. That is where you want to live one day, okay? It's nice and old, but
nice and old.
The memory, the history is literally etched on the walls. If you live there, you know what I mean. Speaking about, talking about on campus this fall. So what will this fall look like compared to previous semesters when students are moving in and coming
Sure.
on campus?
Yeah. So, in case you didn't know, there's this thing called COVID happening.
No way. What? I didn't get a text about that.
I mean, maybe I, going down a rabbit hole and I'm the only one that knows about it. But COVID is going to change some of our processes this year.
Right.
And while that's not ideal, maybe for what we would typically like to do, it is ideal in a sense that we're trying to keep everybody safe. And we know that there's already a lot of stressors that go into coming to college, especially when you're coming to college for the first time. You're making that leap from your home into a new space. And then you add COVID on top of that, which adds a whole other array of things. So we understand that, there's going to be some grace that needs to happen with everybody. There's going to need to be some patience. I certainly do not have the magic answer for how to fix COVID. I wish I did. But we are working tirelessly to make sure that we have some things in place to make sure everybody is safe, and really trying to think about the whole community, which I know can cause some ripples sometimes, especially with scheduling and things like that we normally wouldn't want to cause to anybody. But we appreciate the flexibility and folks understanding as we're trying to keep everybody safe.
Right. Well, it sounds, like I said, I think we've gone over this on previous episodes, especially with our health and wellness team. The wellness of students is our number one priority.
For sure.
So things are going to have to change a little bit to make sure, everybody is taken care of.
For sure.
One of the most challenging times in human history.
Yes.
History. Yeah. Now, so, okay, what I really want to know about here, the residential life curriculum. So students have to do more classwork is what it sounds like?
It might sound like that.
Okay.
It might sound a little bit daunting, and you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to have all this homework to do, and then you're telling me when I live in the residence halls, you're going to give me more to do.
Right.
It's not really like that. So the reason that we call it a curriculum is because the idea is that you will come to Doane and you will have this experience that spans all 4 years. And we really want to kind of meet you where you're at and push you to get to that next level of where you want to be at. So having a curriculum-based model allows us to kind of plan for your 4-year journey, so to speak. So we tend to focus on different topics that align with Doane's mission and values. And the idea behind the curriculum is not to give you homework by any means.
Right.
It's to give you experiences and opportunities of self-exploration, self-growth, even learning some of those things that maybe you didn't know when you came to college, like how to cook a little bit better, how to give first aid to somebody. Some of those sort of life skills that you don't really think about until you have to do them every day. So that's the idea behind it. It's not what you would think where you're getting assignments, you're not graded, you don't even have to really participate if you don't want to, but you'll be surprised that just by being involved in the buildings, you are participating because you're learning about yourself, you're learning about others, and you're getting involved and being active. So that's why we call it a curriculum. I promise you it's not going to be extra work. It's meant to kind of connect that experience you get in the classroom with all of those life skill things that everybody should learn, and self-exploration about themselves.
Right. So what it sounds like is the curriculum is the student living life and actually giving them an opportunity to kind of expand their borders.
Absolutely.
And get their hands on something before it's, the real world where it's do or die kind of.
Yep.
So it sounds like, wow, it sounds like you're getting what you paid for. I'm so shocked. No, that's funny. So we're going to move on to our lightning round, apparently. It's the first time we've done this. So, cue the music. Wait, there's no music. Okay, judges. We what's that? We don't have all right, so we don't have judges. Okay, well, let's do this then.
Okay.
Lightning round. So, what do students do if a washer or dryer is busted?
So they should report it to their CA or their CD.
Okay. Someone's clothes have been in the washer for days.
Report it to your CA or your CD.
Okay. I locked myself out. What do I do?
You'll call one of our emergency response numbers,
Okay.
which will get you to a CA or a CD.
Oh, okay. Something smells in the hall.
Definitely report that to your CA or a CD.
My air conditioning isn't working.
Report it to your CA or your CD.
My roommate is eating all of my snacks.
Please, please, please report that to your CA.
I set off all the alarms, microwaving my ramen noodles without water.
Okay, so that one's a little different. Everybody's probably going to know that that happened if the alarms are going off. But if you are the person that didn't put the water in their ramen noodles, just own up to that. That'll help the evacuation of the building go much quicker, and you'll be able to go back to your room.
Will I still get to eat the ramen noodles?
I mean, I can't stop you. I probably would try again, but that's totally up to you.
Okay. Ding, 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 ding. Boom. All right, that was our lightning round. I think you did wonderful.
Okay.
Congratulations. Judges, what did she win? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so there are no judges, apparently. Can we get some judges next time? Anyway, let's move on to our live 5 questions. That's a drum roll, by the way. Boom. Here we go. Question 1. All right. What advice would you give to your college self with what you know now?
Ooh. How much time do we have? No. So I would say, and this is going to sound a little cliche, but I would say really live in the moment while you're in college. I think when I was in college, I spent a lot of time thinking about the future, which is not a bad thing, but it made me not be so present in the moment that I was trying to live. I was in a hurry to grow up. I was in a hurry to get to that real world experience, which I will tell you, it's not all it's cracked up to be. I mean, we all have to do it. There's pros and cons, right? But I wish I would have just invested a little bit more of being in the moment and just enjoying the experience, because that's really what college is there for. It's the one time in your life that you're going to get this opportunity to be with your friends, interact with different people, learn new things, try new things. And that 4 years is going to go by fast. People will say that to you and you're going to roll your eyes aggressively and say, no, that's like forever. It's never going to happen. Let me tell you, it goes by super fast.
It zooms by.
So really just enjoy it.
Right.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Enjoy the moment. The future's going to come. It'll all work out. Enjoy the moment where you're at.
Great advice. Yes, enjoy your college experience. It's not the best 4 years of your life, but it's really fun, okay? So enjoy it while it's there. So our next question has to deal with Stop Day. If you guys don't know, Stop Day, it's pretty much Doane Christmas, okay? It's in the spring, okay? It's a day when randomly, you don't know when it comes. You know that when the trees start budding, the birds start chirping, the grass turns green, we finally unthaw from our deep freeze. You know it's coming. You smell it in the air. One of these days, the school president is going to, the class president, so to say, is going to walk into the student body president, there we go, is going to walk into the cafeteria and say it's Stop Day. You're going to stop all classes. If you have class, you're not going to go because it's not going to happen. You're going to go have a bunch of fun. There's going to be a bunch of games. Wiffle ball, kickball, canoe races, regular races, races, I don't even know. All type, it's just fun, competition, shows. It's a great time. Everyone loves it. That's what Stop Day is. Now, with that being said, Megan, what part of your day would you like to stop?
Ooh. Well, I am not really one to wish time away. However, I would say that I would be totally okay with not being on another Zoom meeting right now because of COVID. I'm excited to be here today to be able to interact with people in person, safely, of course, but that would be a part of my day right now that I tend to be more introverted, but I'm craving that human interaction. So I would love to kind of stop that virtual meeting part of my day and have some real life human interaction.
Yeah, me personally, I've enjoyed it because I'm an extrovert, but I'm also I'm an introvert at home. So I've enjoyed it where I can lock myself in my room and not talk to people.
Sure.
It's been peaceful, you know, because I was an only child, so I love my alone time. And I've gotten a
lot of it, yeah.
Tons of it. I'm not, now there's a piece of me that's like, okay, I'm ready to get out and about.
Sure.
You know, scratch the itch of
Right.
Human interaction. But I will say it, pulling the bright side out of everything, I've had more time to read.
Yes.
And actually just kind of focus on some of my hobbies.
Yes.
So it's kind of been good, you know, but I am ready for this thing just for the health of the planet and people, and I'm ready for this to be taken care of.
For sure.
So wear a mask, okay? Wear a mask.
Do your part, wear a mask.
Do your part, wear a mask. Boom. All right. Question number 3. We work on a college campus. We went to school here. And part of the college experience is excuses, right? Everybody has one.
Sure.
Just like armpits,
Right.
right? So what's the worst excuse you've ever heard?
That is a tough question. So I will say that yes, excuses are part of college. It's part of that experience of growing up and learning who you are and learning to face the music a little bit and owning your stuff, if you will.
Right.
Trying to think of a specific example that would be good. So one time I did hear that from a student that was supposed to have a meeting with me that they didn't attend, and then later on they were kind of begging a little bit for mercy, and it was an important meeting that they needed to be at. They were you know, regrettably sorry for missing that, that they could not attend, and this is kind of dating back a little bit. They could not attend because they could not get past the swans that used to live on the Doane lakes.
That's a real excuse.
It is real, and I had to validate, because as a student, I totally have had to walk around, clear around campus to get to my class because the dang swans were marking their territory and were not going to let you pass. They were kind of mean.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, now that it is an excuse because there's always a way.
Right.
But now that one, I'd probably be like, depending on how important the meeting was, I'd be like, all right, you know. Nope, actually, no, I think about it, I've never not missed something because of the swans, even when they were in attack mode. So, yeah, it's a pretty bad excuse. Hey, if you're a prospective student, write this down. Excuses don't get you anywhere, so don't make them, all right? It's either do or don't, okay?
Yep, you're gonna get so much further if you just own your stuff. Especially with me, honesty is the best policy. So if you oversleep and you miss something, or you plumb forgot because you're human, just acknowledge it. There's no need for excuses. We all know things happen.
Big deal. Tell the truth. Move on. Hey, sometimes the truth is an excuse. That's okay. That's okay. But hey, just letting you know, you can make an excuse or you can make it happen. It's your decision. That's my tidbit for the day. All right, now, question number 4. Boom. We work at an institution, a prestigious institution of esteemed higher learning. So it'd be nice if we'd like to assume all of us are lifelong learners, right? So what is the last thing you can say you've learned?
Ooh. I feel like, especially in this climate of where we're at, I learn something new every day. So I'm going to kind of edge the question a little bit and not give you a specific answer. But what I will say, that with all of our preparations for COVID and getting ready to open in the fall, that has allowed me to kind of work with a lot of different people that I normally probably wouldn't work with as much on a day-to-day basis. So I've learned a lot about different people at Doane. And Doane is a small, family-oriented place. That's part of what drew me to come here. It's part of what helps me stay here. And you'd probably say something similar, Kenny. But it's been really cool to get to interact with other areas that typically we just haven't worked together as much in the past. So I've learned a lot about my colleagues, and that's been a cool experience in all of this.
That's awesome. Yeah, I recently learned through a TikTok video that
TikTok is great.
TikTok is amazing.
Follow Res Life on TikTok. We have
Follow Res Life on TikTok. I learned on TikTok that the honey badger, right, is one of the most deadly animals you can come across. It kills for sport. One time, a honey badger killed 17 ducks and didn't eat any of them just because. And they also, when they go and eat honey, they take honey from like a bee's nest, they will get stung hundreds of times and like just shake it off. And then predators, like they can like get bitten by a snake and they just go into a coma and then they can wake up and shake it off. Honey badgers, you ever come across a honey badger, leave it alone, that thing will tear you apart. I learned that yesterday on TikTok. I was like, wow, honey badgers.
Do we have honey badgers in Nebraska? Do you know?
Probably not.
Okay, well, but still, they have the long claws, right? Honey badgers?
Oh, yeah. I just hear they're tenacious. Nothing can stop them. If by chance a honey badger invasion happened, we'd pretty much be done for.
That'd be it.
It'd be it. Now, I mean, I think about also, we think about animals and COVID, but also, you know what else we need to be waging a war on? Mosquitoes.
Amen.
Amen. I learned some information about mosquitoes. I'm like, wow, they're actually pretty deadly.
They can be, yeah.
We don't talk about that enough, though. It's okay. All right. Question number 5. All right. Here we go. It's always my favorite question because everyone has one of these, especially you're a student as well. What is your favorite spot on campus?
This is probably one of the hardest questions you've asked me today because Doane's campus is just great. There's lots of little kind of like niche spots that you can find that are just peaceful and relaxing. Wow. So this is going to sound probably a little strange, but one of my favorite spots that I used to go to a lot when I was a student was just to go sit in Heckman Auditorium when nobody was there and just kind of feel the energy in that space, energy of concerts and programs and opening convocation and things like that I'd participated in as a student, but just being in there by myself and being in the quiet. So it's probably an unusual space. There's a lot of great outdoor spaces too, but that was probably one of my favorite spots as a student, especially.
Yep. I definitely say, mine is between the con and probably would have to say the campus center. Just because it was just lit.
Right, yeah.
It was always a place to be,
Yep.
It's tough to say. It's just a wonderful campus.
It is. It just really is.
So now it seems like we have some live questions from our audience. So here we go. There's plenty of them. Can you speak to the specific guidelines for move-in day? My student said only one parent can help freshmen move in.
Okay, so I will talk a little bit more about the specifics of move-in day. So my hope and goal is that everybody's going to get their individualized communication tomorrow about when their move-in date is, which that's already been announced, but because of COVID, we are assigning people specific time slots to make sure that we're keeping our physical distancing down. We're not having an overwhelming rush of people. So my hope is that information will go out via email tomorrow to everybody. But to speak to the part about one parent being able to help, we are asking that students only bring 2 adult guests with them for the move-in process. Again, just to kind of limit the number of people that we have and the chance of exposure, that kind of thing. So we are asking that you limit it to 2 guests. You're going to start the check-in process at our great athletic center, Haddix. And for that particular process, because that's kind of just the paperwork part, we are asking that you only bring in one of your guests if you need to. But hopefully you are taking care of a lot of the things that you need to now, so that process will be a breeze for you, and it will be just a lot of like picking up your room key, maybe getting your books if you've pre-ordered them from the bookstore, that kind of thing. So you probably wouldn't need an adult there, but if you do need a parent to come in to talk with you at the business office because you have a payment plan question, that's totally fine. We just ask that the other person stay in the vehicle while that happens. But then both of them are welcome to help you move into your residence hall.
Yep. So 2 parents to move in, 1 if you got to go handle some business. Okay? 2 to move in, 1 if you got to go handle some business. Okay? Okay, good. Now, will there be a specific time each student can move in?
Yes, so there will be a specific time that you will be given to move in. Again, we're trying to expedite things as quickly as possible,
Right.
to not make it a cumbersome thing for anybody. But you will have a time slot that will be probably 30 minutes to do that initial kind of paperwork check-in, get your room key, your mailbox key, all of that good stuff. And then for the actual move-in portion, we ask that you try to limit that to 1 hour. So we know that you're probably anxious to want to set up your space, but we ask that you kind of wait and do that after your guests have left campus, and you just focus on getting your stuff in your space.
There you go. There's a time. Follow the rules. Ba-bing. When is orientation days for freshmen?
So orientation, I believe, will start on the 13th, which is when first-year students will move in. And that will go through Sunday, which is right before classes start for the fall. I would highly recommend that you check out the orientation page on the Doane website. There is a schedule listed on there of different activities that are going to be happening during that time, so you can plan a little bit better. But that's a great time to really get to know your classmates and know more about campus and get you really prepped for the start of that fall semester.
What would you suggest for bedding?
Well, I mean, I am partial to purple, but that's probably not what you want to know.
Yes, bedding. Yes.
But you should bring bedding. Yes, we do not supply bedding. All of our mattresses are twin XL, so you'll want to make sure that you get the extra long twin bedding, because no matter how strong you think you are, those twin sheets will not stretch over that extra bit of mattress that exists on those twin extra long. So make sure that you have twin extra long. I always recommend that you have at least 2 sets of sheets with you, just so it's easier for you to change your sheets. And yes, you should change your sheets. I'm just saying, you know, if Nurse Kelly was here, she would say the same thing.
Change them.
Laundry is free, so you really, really there's no reason not to change them, but it's nice to have that extra set just, so you have it and you're good to go. But then the rest of it is all what you want. So if you want to bring a mattress topper because you like your bed extra cushy, or you want 15 blankets or 15 pillows, you do you. That's totally up to you.
Okay, boom. The list got longer.
I did.
Do we have to have masks on in our dorm room for the first few days?
So that is to be determined. At this point, I believe that we will be asking that students wear masks in the residence halls if they're in common spaces. So if you're doing your laundry, you're in the kitchen, that kind of thing, that you are wearing a mask. Again, we just want everybody to do their part and reduce the risk. At this point, we are not asking you to wear them in your individual room. I mean, I suppose you can if you want to, but there's not necessarily a requirement to do that.
Can we get specific information on what the rooms will look like so we can plan what to bring?
So we do have some photos of some rooms that are on our housing portal. So if you go to doane.ereslife.com and you go under the resources section, we have photos from our residence halls there, some of which have been set up already with students living in them, so you can kind of get a good idea about what your space can look like. You can also kind of think creatively, think outside of the box. I've seen some students do some really cool things when they rearrange their room to give them more space. But definitely go and check out those photos. They also have some basic measurement things listed there as well.
Are there elevators available in the residence halls?
So the only building that we have an elevator in is Hanson Hall. And that is our newest constructed building. It was built in 2000. The rest of our buildings are quite historic. Some of them are, over 100 years old, so they do not have elevators, unfortunately.
What is the cost? That's free. What is the cost for washing clothing and such? It's free.
It's free. Free.
Free.
Free 99, as my brother would like to say.
Yes, free 99. So, will we have to wear masks for the whole move-in process? Take a guess.
So we are asking that you wear your mask for the whole move-in process. If you happen to forget, we will have some available for you, some disposable ones available for you. But because we are going to have extra traffic here with people, we are asking that folks wear those masks during that whole process, which again is why we're trying to expedite it so you can kind of relax and settle in and then take it off when you're in your space.
What food items are allowed in the room? Oh, easy. Pizza Hut, De Leon's, Burger King, lots of it. You name it,
Yeah, I can honestly say I've never been asked that question before. We don't have any restrictions on food that you allow in the room. I would recommend that you keep your food in containers just because it helps keep it fresh. And you don't want your stuff to go bad. So I'm a big fan of Ziploc bags or reusable containers to keep your stuff in, just so you're getting your money's worth out of your snacks.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few science experiments. I remember when I was living in the residence halls, science experiments, nasty ones. It's kind of cool. Are there specific appliances allowed / not allowed in the rooms?
Yes, so we do have a list of things that we ask that you would leave at home when it comes to appliances. That's on doane.evreslife.com or on the Residence Life section of the Doane website as well. But I will go through some things. So anything that has a burning element, so any sort of burny thing, so like a George Foreman, a hot plate, a blowtorch, which we found in a room before. Anything that would cause a fire, we do not want that in the building. So if you have questions about it, I would say go ahead and email our Doane Housing at doane.edu email just to be sure. It's the worst when people bring things and we have to say, sorry, you can't have that here. But we do permit quite a few things as long as they're UL approved, which most new appliances are. So like you can have a Keurig, you can have a coffee maker, you can have a crock pot if you want to, a blender. We do ask that you use some of those bigger appliances in the kitchen and not in your individual room. But go to the website and check that stuff out because we have a pretty extensive list. And we add to it as things come up, like blowtorches. I had somebody ask me one time if they could bring throwing stars. No weapons either, please.
Don't bring throwing stars.
Right. Yeah.
Don't bring those heating elements because they will set the fire alarm off. Trust me.
Yep.
Are candles allowed?
So you can have a candle if you take the wick out, so we know that you haven't burned it. And again, that's just to reduce the risk of a fire happening.
100-year-old building, open flame.
Right.
You do the math.
Right. It's not a good combination. So if you have that, Bath and Body Works candle that just smells amazing and you can't live without it, you can bring it, but we are going to ask you to take the wick out of it so we know that you're not burning it.
Get what are those things called? A wax melter?
You cannot have those. Sorry.
You can't have one of those?
You can't have Scentsies or wax warmers because they have not been totally vetted as like fireproof, shut off, safe as some of the other appliances are. So you can have like the Glade plug-in warmers or like the wallflower things, but anything that would cause wax to melt, we'll have to confiscate that if you bring it. So
yep, don't bring it or don't get caught. Right? All right. Now, that was all the questions we have? That's it. That is all the questions we have. Wow. It's like this thing talks to me. All right, so looks like, it's time for us to wrap. Okay, so we're going to close this thing up. I hope you guys got some great information. Megan, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
You're very welcome.
So that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Live 5, brought to you by Doane Studios, also known as the Kennerly Benraty Show. I just did that. So, feel free to go on the Doane University YouTube channel and look at previous episodes if you missed any. We had some great content there with some people answering some awesome questions there. Can't wait to see you all here in a few weeks, actually. Wow, that's nuts. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. Go be great. We're out of here.